Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome in to another edition of Deportes Nation live at night. Norma, we were kind of watching, then we weren't watching. We were on camera, now we're not off on the camera. I have no idea what's going on today, Norma. Happy Monday, Norma Morales. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good.
Are you sure?
As good as it can get. Yeah, as good as it could get.
As good as it gets.
Alex.
Wasn't there a movie like that, Norma? As good as it gets? Yeah.
I don't know.
There was a movie called As Good as It Gets, Norma. There was.
Oh, okay.
You just don't remember it.
Yeah.
Because you're young.
I don't remember.
Because you're young.
Well,
Norma.
thanks for saying that. Thanks for saying that, Alex.
Well, compared to me, you look really young, Norma. So that's a good thing. Happy Monday. Can we call it a happy Monday, Norma? Or it's just a Monday?
For me, it's just a Monday, but I'm sure, hopefully, everybody's having a happy Monday. I can't, rain on everybody else's parade.
Sure, start raining.
Hopefully.
No, why not? Rain on us. Rain on us, Norma, please.
No, I'm hoping everyone is having a good Monday so far.
Norma, you know, it seems like it's just been not literally raining, but figuratively raining, and we're dashing one storm for another with the COVID-19 social unrest. It just seems it's definitely an odd year, an uncertain 2020. Norma, how was your weekend? Did you enjoy it? Were you able to relax and go to the spa or go wherever Norma goes on the weekends?
I wish I could go to the spa. Actually, I've been wanting to go get, a skincare appointment done, but, that's going to have to wait. But, no spa, just kind of relaxed, and that's pretty much it, Alex. That's my weekend so far.
Just relax. Well, you're not giving many details. That's fine. We'll just, as you say, we'll keep the details on the down low. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Monday. Thanks for joining us. Whoever may be joining us, whoever may be watching, welcome in. Deportes Nation live at night. Alex Parra, Norma Morales. We do this on social media, Norma, Facebook Live, on the Twitter Periscope, and on YouTube. I'll have to check and see if the YouTube's up and working, Norma. The YouTube, the Facebook, the Twitter.
We can't forget those fans that are on YouTube.
Those, yes, all three of those fans, Norma, on YouTube. Very important fans that are on YouTube. We'll take all of you. Trust me, every one of you is a good fan. We'll take
and
every
Alex will
one
send
of you.
Alex will send you a check at the end of the month, right?
Oh,
Alex?
we pay and we beg. We have no problem begging. Please send us comments. Please watch us. We need the ratings, Norma Morales.
Please watch us. Yes.
Norma, COVID-19, it seems that little by little it's getting a little bit closer. I don't know if you want to share, but you kind of have a personal story a little bit.
Yeah, actually, very, very close. We always think it's never going to happen to us, or, we try to be as careful as we can. Unfortunately, we had gotten some word. We got word that someone actually close to my family within the household, I'll just say that, has gotten close to someone who tested positive of COVID.
So
what does that mean?
That's close to you was close to someone that has tested positive. Is that what we're saying?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So it's close.
Yeah, correct.
It's close.
So it's close, I think too close to home, I should say.
Sure.
So once we got word, we had to go get tested, of course. I mean, that's
so
the right thing to do.
You yourself got tested. Norma, tell me about the experience, if you don't mind. Did they stick the thing in there?
Yes.
Well, uncomfortable, I imagine.
And it's very uncomfortable. For those that have taken it, I'm sure they can attest to it. The clinic that I did go to, Alex, they said that the one that I got was not the one that pretty much is going to touch my brain, but it was close to it, I should say. I mean, literally. I'm in pain
just listening to that.
I could feel it over my eyeballs pretty much. And
Norma, I'm sorry.
My eyes were very teary. I was basically almost in tears.
Well, you leave the show in tears, so you did that a lot.
yeah. You're right on that. I'm used to it, right?
I know. I get the calls from
I'm used to it.
the psychiatrist, psychologist,
Yeah.
the doctor. So Norma, not to make
Yeah.
not to make light of this. So what happens? They test you, and do you know now?
Mhm.
Will it take a few days, a few weeks, a few? How long does it take?
It's 48 hours until we get results.
Wow.
So it's just kind of a waiting game at this point, and then we'll just really see if if we get symptoms or not. I'm praying that I don't. I'm praying that my family doesn't. But we're just here, just kind of waiting it out and seeing. And we're not leaving the house. I've told my husband that we're staying here. We're not going to leave, just because we don't know in regards to our situation if we are going to be tested positive or not. And then definitely don't want. I mean, there's people out there. I don't want to be at the store and just knowing if I could have it to pass it along. So, yeah, we're staying at home.
Well, Norma, look, I'm not paying attention. I'm just trying to get
I'm
social
used to that,
media
Alex.
working. No. I
You're not used.
sincerely hope that you don't test positive, Norma. Here's my take, and not on your personal situation, and I'm genuinely concerned.
Yeah.
For once, I'm genuinely concerned about you.
Yeah.
This is getting closer and closer to all of us, and I would not find
Yeah.
it surprising, Norma, that eventually someone in all of our bubbles, in all of our families, test positive. Now, that doesn't mean it's the end of the world. People can be asymptomatic. They can have absolutely nothing wrong with them, and they get through the period of 2 weeks. Is that what we're calling it? Without any issues.
Right.
So that is my take. As for whatever that's worth, I generally believe that as we test more, there'll be more positive results, and people will find out, oops, I had no idea I had it, or I have it and I feel just fine. So try, Norma, not to stress and move on with life. I'm proud of you, and all we can do is take it one day at a time. When do you expect to find out? 48 hours?
48 hours. 48 hours. I'm not stressing. My anxiety gets a little high, but I try not to think about it, of course. And I think that's, I'm probably not the only one that's going through this, but it is what it is. And, of course I try not to go anywhere, but things happen. And we're just at this point, just at a waiting game and seeing what's going to happen, and just take it day by day. But I'm hoping, again, like I told you before, Alex, off the record, actually not online here, but
nobody's watching, so yeah, you go for it.
No, but I had the flu like 2 years ago, and I was miserable. Like, that was the worst, and that was the year that I did not have the flu shot, and I was miserable, literally, for like 2 weeks. And then the bad thing was, it was during Christmas time, and it was just like the worst ever.
Sure.
And so I'm hoping that I feel fine. I feel great right now. I don't have any symptoms at all at this point, and I'm knocking on wood and praying that I don't get any, and that hopefully we'll be at the clear.
Well, Norma, apparently I look worse than you do, so if anyone looks sick, it's me. So, Uncle Alex, yeah, I'm getting comments now, Norma. Uncle Alex, you look worse than Norma. I don't know if you've shared, Norma. I shared. Missy is watching us, and we thank her for watching us.
Missy.
She says sorry, Norma, and we're all a little sorry for you, Norma. And that was even before we knew about the story of today. We just look at you and say sorry.
you still feel sorry for me. I know. You know what I was thinking, Alex?
Please tell us.
Because today's been really, honestly, just been a crazy day for me, and it's just been crazy. But
Sure.
I'm wondering, when am I going to get at the Portes Nation?
Here we go. I knew this was coming.
I had to find. This is the thing. I was looking. I do have a favorite hat, and I could not find it nowhere. And it's my Baby Bull hat that actually you purchased for me when we went to the Baby Bull gym about 2 years ago, I want to say. That's my favorite hat, and I couldn't find it. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, why do I not have a Deportes Nation hat?
Your head's too big? I don't know. Maybe that's We're trying to tell you something,
Yeah,
Norma.
maybe.
We do. You know what? Here's what we're going to do, Norma. We're going to make some Deportes Nation hats. We're going to start giving them away, basically begging people to watch us. That's the way it works. You want to watch? Take one of these. You got to watch, though. You got to watch, and you can have one.
Good.
I like that. I like that strategy. Norma, we're all thinking about you, praying for you and your family, so please know that. And we try to carry on here with the show, but I guess that's the breaking news for today, Miss Norma. Kind of waiting.
Yeah.
Try to not to stress, Norma. I would be a wreck, to be honest with you. I don't like doctors. I don't like to go through any of that testing stuff, but every so often we have to, I guess. And you'll be fine, Norma. Either way, you'll be fine. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, and Alex, I mean that whole swab thing. I was hoping it would be. It's the worst thing. It's literally. I mean, look, literally, Alex. The swab is like this. Just to give you a visual, literally.
Thank you for the graphic. Thank you for the
Hopefully
graphic use of your pencil, Norma. We all know now.
Oh. I want to say thanks, Amanda Lumpkin. Her and I went to high school together, Alex, and she says praying for you and your family, Norma. So thanks, Amanda.
Are you sure you remember Amanda, Norma? Because a couple of shows ago, you didn't even remember your cousins. So I don't know.
And Missy just said she wants a hat too, so we got to give her a hat. She's actually one of our regulars on the show.
Is
so
she? Okay.
We got to at least give her one. Yeah, she is, right, Missy?
She is. No, she is, and we appreciate Missy. So yeah, if you guys have stories too, please let us know. Again, if you're in Texas, if you're in the Houston area, Norm, I think it's just a matter of time before someone close to us tests positive. We're going to be there to support them. And Norma, here's again my take for whatever it's worth. I'll be honest with you. I don't believe that we may not even get sick. I think the anxiety of it, though. The cloud, I use that term again. It's like a little cloud over our heads that's just sitting there, and until it goes away, until it parts the sky and we see the sunshine and the blue skies, it's going to be lingering there. It's just tough. We don't want our children getting this. We don't want our parents or grandma and grandpa getting it. We don't want anyone getting it. So we're all worried about everybody, and it's just not comfortable, Norma. I think the word again is uncertainty. That's a tough way to live these days.
Yeah, and right now, Alex, my kids are not with me, which is good. When all this is happening. So
because of that legal thing, or
no? My kids don't want to be with me. They were ready to leave.
I know the little one called the state. That's all I know.
Now you're spreading rumors, Alex. Really?
Oh, okay. I don't know. I read it on the internet, Norma, so it must be true.
Oh, goodness, no.
I'm just kidding, Norma. You're a great mother, or so you tell me every morning.
I hope so. I mean, my kids may say differently, but I hope I'm a good mother.
Well, you're a wonderful mother. And last week was your anniversary, Norma. It's all turning around for you, Norma. As soon as you get off this show, your life's going to be perfect.
Off the show permanently? Or
The moment you don't have to interact with me, your life is turning around. Trust me, it's just a matter of time. Yeah. Well, anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Happy Monday. Norma, I think our ratings are going up because more people are staying home these days. So that's a double-edged sword. We want people to live and to enjoy their lives, but we're seeing how unfortunately, this is affecting a lot of us. Norma, I wanted to start, if I may, and if you ladies and gentlemen have any questions, please feel free to send them our way, Norma. Wanted to start a little bit today with the Challenge Cup taking place out in Utah. We're talking women's soccer, NWSL. Yeah. We had the beginning of the tournament this past Saturday, really the beginning and the return to professional sports. Norma, we'll talk about what we see on the screen soon, but the singing or the playing of the national anthem and the reaction, the response from the players. And we'll come back to that in just a little while, but before we do that, let's talk a little bit about what happened on the field. I know that there were 2 matches on Saturday. It was good. It was great, Norma, from my perspective, to watch women's soccer on national television. Even though it was an empty stadium, it was great for women's soccer to get that exposure. And also the changing times, Norma, that it's now
Yeah.
a forum for political expression. The show itself, CBS, made sure that this was covered. They didn't hide, they didn't shy away from it, they didn't cut away to commercials. I believe it was probably, well planned. So, we'll get into the highlights here of Portland versus North Carolina, which was the first match. And again, we're just, watching the action on the field. And that was important, Norma. And, we'll get back to the soccer and the scores. But to me, it was secondary, Norma, to sport returning and being part of our lives. The question is, Norma, is it still too early? I personally enjoyed it. I watched it along with my children, like many other people did, Norma. But is it maybe too soon? The NBA is next. Major League Soccer is next. The NFL is planning. And as you know, more and more athletes, as they get ready to go to their bubble, in this case, the Cup for the women is in Utah. The MLS and NBA will be in Orlando, in Florida. So, Norma, are we hurrying back too quickly? And is it just a matter of time, like in your situation, and I don't mean you specifically, that someone around us is going to test positive?
And I hate to, I'm both ways, I'm excited actually to see women's soccer, of course, that's just started. I'm excited to see tomorrow's games because, Dash is playing. But then yet, again, I'm sure they're taking the protocols. They're trying to be as safe as they can. I just hopefully they're playing safely, of course, in regards to just taking precautions, etc. And health is the most important. But I'm actually really excited, though, Alex, to see them play. And this weekend too, I was excited to see Manchester United play. I didn't realize that they had already started, and then I was looking at the same thing in the audience, and I maybe saw a handful. Of course, they were spread apart. A lot of the banners that were covered the seats, of course, for advertisement. And then of course the sound. You hear the sound over TV, and it sounds like it's a sold out crowd, right? But there's only probably maybe top 50 people.
Sure.
I was going to say 50. You got to count cameramen and everybody else, right? That's there actually working. But I'm sure it was different for them not to really hear the crowd and, what's normal for them. But looking at it on TV, when I saw Manchester United play, it was like I was actually watching the game. I wasn't really focusing on the audience. I was focusing on the game. So it was good to see. And now I'm excited to watch women's soccer, of course. So we'll see how it goes.
The NWSL Challenge Cup, Norma, as we mentioned, started back on Saturday. And let's just play the beginning before the match, the national anthem, and we'll hear it. I don't want to speak over the national anthem, but I think it's interesting to watch the way it was presented. Here we go.
Okay.
Thank you, David.
I can play just like that, Norma Morales. I can play like that man in that saxophone. But there you go,
Could you?
Norma. So that was the beginning of the tournament, the first match, and every player, Norma, kneeling. Black Lives
Yeah.
Matter T-shirts on. My question is again, Norma, do we find ourselves now in a world where this is going to occur whenever the national anthem is sung? And then, in this case, there was consensus among the players to do that. The NWSL commissioner, by the way, Norma, updated their stand or position on this, and they will now allow players, if they don't want to be on the field during the national anthem, to be in the locker room during the national anthem. Norma, I'm sure there are emotions about this either way, but for the NWSL, in this case, in the first match, it was clear. Every single player taking the opportunity to say Black Lives Matter, and you know, Norma, good for them. They took a knee, literally, in this case. Do you find it, Norma, disrespectful to the national anthem? We've talked about this before, but is this just our new normal, as they say? I put you on the spot with that one, didn't I? Norma?
No, I mean, I don't take it as offensive. You know, Alex, I mean, they're still respecting. They're still respecting. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of change. I think we're going to see a lot of sports that they're going to do it. You know, I think it's just the start of it. But, you know, I actually was really happy to see that they did that. So, I mean, I think some changes is going to be on the way for a lot of the sports. So we'll just have to see how that goes.
So now let me ask you this, Norma. I get it and I understand it. And I'll be honest too, for the record, I am personally not offended by it. I don't feel it's a disrespect to the flag or to our nation. I don't feel, Norma, that one is non-patriotic by behaving in this way, by acting in this way, and let's put it at that. But Norma, the question now is, what is next? I think it's a great gesture that makes us all think. But what do you do next? Is there action behind that? Is this to raise the consciousness of all of us, raise more awareness about the times we're living in? I think that's the balance. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and protest. Do it respectfully within the bounds of what's good taste. Don't force anyone not to do what they believe they should be doing, Norma. But what's next?
Right.
What's the next step for these ladies? What's the next step for the league?
Yeah, are you asking me this question?
Or a rhetorical question, Norma? I'm asking all of us. What is next? And there's no answer. There's no answer. Maybe next.
Yeah.
And maybe next time it's another cause. Maybe next time, the way I see it, it's highlighting, hey, I'm standing or kneeling in this case, or believing in something. This is the way to do it. Norma, where I eventually believe this goes, and this is how I believe some leagues are going to deal with this, Norma, is that they may just cut it out. They may just say, you know what, forget the national anthem. We're just announcing our starting lineups and let's get to play. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I think, Alex, in every movement, I mean, even like, you know, Pride Month, you know, with Pride, and I mean, to support, you know, gay and lesbians, and what does soccer do? They have all their shirts that resemble, you know, and support, you know, that community. And, you know, it's good. I think it's great. It's great for people to change in regards to they don't have to wear the same jerseys. They can change the jerseys up to support whatever is going on at that point. So, you know, again, I support it and I don't see an issue with it, but some people may not agree.
Well, obviously, some people aren't going to agree, Norma, and I think that's the balance we have to strike. And it's coming. NBA is coming. MLS is coming. Right. NFL is coming. College sports eventually, hopefully, will be here. So it really is, Norma, a matter of time before someone else takes this opportunity of the national anthem. So, Norma, that's what was happening before the game, a few of the highlights of what happened in the first two matches. But tomorrow, Norma, you mentioned Houston Dash, the Dash, training up in Utah. They were getting ready, or are getting ready, for the match tomorrow, Tuesday, versus the Utah Royals, which is really the home team, if you will, out in Utah. But James Clarkson and the ladies, James Clarkson, the coach, and the ladies out there preparing a beautiful a beautiful facility, a beautiful setting, and I'm happy for them, Norma. I'm happy that the ladies are ready and getting ready to compete once again. And actually, why don't we listen to James Clarkson? He had a little bit to talk about the team, the new team, as we go into the season. Here are the comments from Houston Dash coach, Mr. James Clarkson.
Yeah, I do think we've got a lot more depth this year. We've got a lot more options. I think with the recruitment over the off season, it's given us much more tactical flexibility, whether that's in the game or off the bench. So I don't think we had that at times last year. So that's exciting for us. We've made some big adjustments on the back line, and every player that we've brought in, we did our homework and really looked at their character and who they were as a person. So we knew we were getting good people, and they've fitted in great. The atmosphere around the camp has been fantastic. So preparation and the excitement within the group is a real high, and they just can't wait to get playing. And like I said, that they all read the press, they all read, they're on Twitter and everything, so they see what everybody has to say about the team. There's not a great deal of love out there for the Dash, and there's a real desire to prove people wrong. And really show what we're about, the progress that we've made, and obviously the games are really important to the players, and they want to do well.
And they'll have that opportunity tomorrow when they take on the Utah Royals. Norma, the game 11:30 a.m. Houston time, if I'm not mistaken, and it can be found on CBS All Access and Twitch. I love it these days, Norma, that you can just find most sporting events or most events in general online in some way. But there's Coach Clarkson talking about the Dash, Norma. I'm excited for the ladies. I'm excited to have sports back. And you know what? I was going to do a little monologue, Norma, about this, about the importance of not only sports, but of the importance of the NWSL. I think it's the future of sports, meaning women, diversity, having an element. And I'll be honest, Norma, these ladies aren't making millions of dollars a year to play the sport. They do it for the love of it, and they sacrifice a lot. And they are really, in my book, relative to sport, they really are pioneers in what will be in the growth and development of the league. So I'm happy, I'm excited for the start of women's soccer. And Norma, I'm glad that tomorrow, hopefully, young men and young women throughout the United States, maybe throughout the world, will be watching this match.
Yeah, I know I will, so no one...
Well, you're not a young
calls,
woman, Norma, text. So you're not allowed to watch.
I'm actually excited, Alex, to watch tomorrow's game. I mean, I'm excited for the whole tournament, especially for the Dash. I'm looking forward to seeing them. And you're right, these
Wait.
women,
what did you say? You're right.
What did I say?
You said you're right. So I'm just you heard it, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you're sometimes
Alex
right.
is
but
right.
No, the thing is, these women, they work so hard, Alex. I mean, they train, and you got to give it to them. I mean, of course, it's soccer, and it's a tough sport. But you know what? I have to give it to them just because they have to train so hard. And you're right, they don't get paid a lot, and it's kind of like what I'm going through right now. I work hard.
But you get to work with me, Norma. That's payment enough. No?
So I understand what they're going through, Alex. So,
But one day you too can work and sit next to Alex Parra, if you're lucky.
Maybe I should try out for the Dash. You think I could make it?
I think so, Norma. They're looking for mascots. I think you'd be perfect. You mean on the field playing?
Yeah, or maybe they'll let me be the water girl or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I can be the chauffeur, Norma. That's pretty much it at this stage of my life.
I have connections to Dash. Maybe they can get me in somehow. I don't know.
Oh, let's hope so, Norma. I don't know. You may or may not be able to get in. We heard from Coach James Clarkson, Norma. Why don't we hear from one of the captains, the goalkeeper, Miss Jane Campbell, who really was asked, and here's a couple of questions she was asked, but she was asked about training in Utah and getting ready for the first match. Here are the comments from Jane Campbell.
I think it's been great. This facility is amazing, and obviously playing here in the past has been awesome, and now kind of like living here for a month has been, first day has been great. The fields are beautiful. Obviously we've seen teams from afar in passing, and we were able to watch the games yesterday, which was awesome, and our hotel has been great, staff's been great, so just really, really happy to be here and super excited to play on Tuesday.
Great. What do you think has improved about the team with the new players that have come in this year?
Yeah, we definitely had a big turnaround in the offseason. It was kind of just like a new flush of new personalities, new experience, a couple young players as well, and I think it was kind of just like a breath of fresh air for us. James said, we all had a clean slate coming into this preseason, which we did. Even the veterans, he told us up front, it's all a clean slate. So I think it created a really competitive environment when preseason got rolling, and obviously quarantine hit, so we were a bit delayed a bit, but I think when we were all able to get through group training and get back into team training, it really created this, really competitive environment, and I think it's going to hopefully roll over to this tournament, and we'll be able to show that.
Obviously, you've played against some of these new players on your team. What has jumped out to you about those players now that you see them at training every day?
Yeah, I think, playing against them is one thing and playing with them is another. Obviously when you're playing against them, you just, want to crush them and you don't really care about how they play, but now getting to learn their different styles. Two people in front of me right now are Katie Naughton and Megan Oyster, who are super, super experienced center backs. And, it's new. As a goalkeeper, I kind of have to put all my trust in them and vice versa with me. And, they've done an exceptional job just coming right in and being leaders on this team, and I think everybody has kind of morphed around them to kind of lead this group. So to have them in front of me, I'm super honored, and I think they've done a great job.
And just what is your initial reaction, or what are you excited about for Tuesday's match and to finally get back on the pitch after such a long layoff?
Yeah, I think honestly just playing. I think when the whistle blows, it'll just go. I mean, I think we've kind of talked about it already. The first 10 minutes will probably be super chaotic and pretty messy, but playing against Utah in their home stadium, it'll be super competitive, I think. And Utah's a great, great team, and I think it'll be a really good matchup, and I think we're just really excited to get out there.
Great. Well, thanks so much, Jane, and we look forward to Tuesday.
Thank you.
She's excited. We're excited, Norma. Great to hear from Jane Campbell regarding the start of at least her team's competition in the NWSL Challenge Cup tomorrow against the Utah Royals. Maybe I said Utah Jazz, Norma, the NBA team, but I meant the Royals. If I said the Jazz, just slap me somebody, please.
I think you said the Royals, Alex.
Did I? Okay.
You did say Utah Royals.
All right, Norma. Sometimes I forget, and it's just what happens at my age. Where are we, Norma? Literally, I'll wake up somewhere, some moment, and say, why am I here again? And who are you? No reaction to that, right? other than, yes, Alex, we agree with you. So for those of you that don't like women's soccer, maybe you tuned out for the last 20 minutes when we were talking about the NWSL. And
who would hate women's soccer?
I don't know. I didn't say
hate. Maybe this will interest them. Maybe they're not really into it. Maybe us talking about it would get some people interested in the sport.
No,
right?
I pretend
women's soccer. Right?
I pretend to be a soccer coach, Norman. I've been blessed in my life to play, to coach, to be a commentator. And I tell you, on the coaching side, I would much rather train ladies and be a coach for women than for men. It's a different approach. It's I don't know what the right word is, Norma. Obviously, men and women are different, and I'm not trying to be stereotypical in any way. The quality of women's soccer has definitely improved, and women listen more. They're coachable. Men and boys think, oh, I can do this. I don't need you. Stop yelling at me. Women have a slightly different tone and approach and a work ethic for the most part. I'm generalizing, but
right.
Again, I love the development of women's soccer. So if you guys have questions or comments, the return of professional sports in the United States, Norma, the other part of this that we wanted to talk a little bit about was, well, the other leagues that are starting to come back. The NFL, for instance, will be coming back today, Norma. There was an announcement that Cam Newton now has signed with the New England Patriots, where Tom Brady used to be before he went to Tampa Bay.
Right.
Cam Newton, a one-year deal with a lot of incentives. I think he's maybe, and this is not a lot for someone of Cam Newton's talents, if you will. They say he's had some injuries, some inconsistencies, but this is an MVP of the league, Norma. He's also a player that took his team to the Super Bowl. So he's got all the qualifications. What do you think about Cam Newton dressing as a Patriot? It's a little weird for me, for many of us.
But why is it weird for you?
It's just we're so used to Tom Brady as the Patriots quarterback.
Well, yeah.
That's what I mean.
Okay. Yeah. No, okay, I got it. Yeah, no, I understand, Alex. I mean, yeah, he's always been the quarterback. I mean, we'll see what he has to offer and see how the Patriots go for this next season. So we'll see.
Yeah. Do you think, Norma, that the NFL again should be coming back? And the big question is not the timing necessarily, which is all kind of coming together. NWSL, we're having baseball going back to spring training in the summer, I guess, or preseason training. Maybe it's a better word. But Norma, the big question is, will they have a start on time? Will stadiums eventually be allowed in different parts of the country with different rules, Norma, be allowed to have fans? Will we as fans be allowed back into that stadium?
I don't think right now. I mean, I'm hoping, football continues in regards to having the games, etc. I mean, you'll have a lot of disappointed fans out there that if it doesn't happen, of course. But for us to see games, I don't see it right now, Alex. I don't see it. I don't know when. I think it's just going to be delayed. And if they do, of course, that goes back to before is, how are they going to, what's that process going to be of bringing the fans in? Is it still going to be every other seat? I don't know. I guess it just depends on how COVID is and everything else winds up being.
Is this a time, Norma, to reimagine what sports entertainment should look like? And let's focus on the NFL, because we're going to talk about quarterbacks in a little while, Norma. But the NFL level of entertainment is mad. It's second to none. All other sports strive to be as entertaining as the NFL. As you know, the NFL and the Super Bowl, its crown jewel, are huge international events. Part of the entertainment,
right,
Norma, and I think you know where I'm going with this, is everything, the periphery, not only the action on the field. Now, without fans, now without additional entertainment value, Norma, we're going to have to focus more on what's on the field, presumably. One of the questions, Norma, and tonight we're not going to get into it a lot, but I'm going to mention it eventually. We may even have a whole show on this, Norma. Are cheerleaders necessary? Are we now going to have usually, and Norma, by the way, not every NFL team has cheerleaders. Some have decided, you know what, I'm not going to mess with that. I'm approaching it from a different part of entertainment. But let's take the traditional teams like the Dallas Cowboys, Norma, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. And let me ask you, Norma, as a young lady, did you or did any of your friends ever say, that's what I want to do? I want to be a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader?
I don't know if I ever had or knew anyone that said that they wanted to be a professional cheerleader. With cheerleading these days, Alex, I mean, I think you have two different types, right? I'm thinking you got the NFL, more dancing routine, standard cheerleading, I guess I should say, for entertainment, right?
Versus
like the college where, like the movie Cheer, where they are flipping and, I mean, it's just amazing on what they do. That type of cheerleading, like, to me, that is like top notch just because of, the way that they flip, how the guys are lifting the girls and etc.
And some girls lifting the guys, Norma. That should be acceptable too.
Maybe too. Yeah. But then, then you have the cheerleaders at the NFL games, and it's more of a dance routine. And I don't think I've ever seen any of them flip. It's just more of them.
So let me
entertaining.
Let me explore this.
Dancing. It's more dancing.
Got it. So let me explain this to you, Norma, or explore this with you, Norma. When you go to a football game, the purpose of a cheerleader is what? To lead the cheers, correct? I guess, traditionally, to energize the fans by cheering, dancing, screaming, yelling. That makes the fans want to get more into the game. Is that the logic? Or the cynic in me says, no, those usually young ladies are only eye candy. They're there for one reason and one reason only, so that men can make googly eyes at them. Am I missing something here, Norma?
I don't know. This is a good question to ask our viewers. I mean, I've been to a couple of Texans games, and I don't really notice the cheerleaders. Yeah, you may notice them walking here and there, and then maybe halftime or whatever. But you're watching the game, I don't. I don't know. Maybe people do like the cheerleaders. I mean, it's entertainment.
Well, okay.
I'm not.
It's
no,
entertainment.
ahead,
So you're not offended, Norma.
It's entertainment.
You're not offended of what the ladies wear, or they're not treated as objects in your mind. It doesn't matter. It's just, it is what it is.
I think it's just been tradition, Alex. I think, for me, again, I see two types of cheerleading. I mean, the college where they're flipping and doing all this amazing, crazy stuff like that. I probably would be more focused watching them and seeing what they're doing because of that, rather than NFL cheerleader. I'm not bashing, I'm just saying,
No.
It's just for them, it's just part of tradition, and professional football, you see the cheerleaders there. I mean, it's just tradition, I guess.
A ring girl, Norma, you've been to MMA, you've been to boxing. Do we have to have a ring girl or a ring boy announcing what round it is? Is that necessary? And by the way, usually...
I wonder why we... Yeah.
Yes. Usually these young ladies are not wearing a lot of clothing, Norma. Not that I've noticed. Again, am I making an equal comparison? Is a ring girl the same thing as a cheerleader in the NFL? Are they comparable?
No. I mean, NFL. I mean, they're dancing, right? They're entertainment. I mean,
which ones? They're both dancing and they're both entertaining.
No, ring girls are not dancing, Alex. They're not dancing.
What are they doing, Norma? They're reminding us of what round it is, and that's very important.
Yes, and they're smiling and making sure their posture is good, making sure they don't fall. I wonder how much they get paid, because I'm sure they get paid depending on if they're whatever fight or whatever. I'm sure they make some really good money just to kind of go around the ring twice with the number. And that's it.
But Norma, just to walk. You've got to walk.
They get paid for
You've got to walk clockwise or counterclockwise. It's very difficult. You might trip. This is difficult. And what if it's round 3 and you put up round 4 and confuse everybody? This is not easy.
No, Alex. They have coordinators that do that.
I'm sure they do, Norma.
Okay, Alex, I mean, you may not, I notice every detail, I mean, the boxing, whatever, but they do have a coordinator at the side of the ring giving them a number. I mean, it's not like they're picking the number and saying, okay, I guess it depends if it's not a really high rank, boxing match. Maybe they get their own number, but I'm thinking high rank boxing.
My point, Norma, am I exaggerating in my comparison? And back to the entertainment, is this what we want? Do we want one day our daughters to say, look, my daughter, she's the ring girl for the Parra versus Morales heavyweight matchup? Is that what we want from our daughters? Or for my daughter, one day, do I want my daughter to be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader? I'm not making light of it, Norma. I'm trying to understand it, because as we reevaluate all these things, is this fair game?
Well, Alex, I mean, being a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader.
Yes.
Okay, so I think there's benefits to it, though, because I think it helps with your profile in whatever job that you get, possibly, because they're like, oh, wow, even though they don't get paid a lot, at least that's something to help them with their career, because obviously if someone says, oh, you're a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, okay,
yes,
that's a plus. That may help them in somehow in their career. Now,
so you don't feel that it's okay it's okay for them to make minimum wage? It's what they signed up for. It's the way it goes.
Well, they shouldn't make minimum wage for amount of money the NFL brings in. I mean, come on, they could get more money than just minimum wage. Alex.
You would think so,
Would you be
right?
surprised? You would think so, but yeah, I mean, they don't get enough. They don't get paid enough, which I think. And think about it, they put a lot of time in it too. I mean, a lot of these women have daytime jobs during the day, and then after they'll go.
Many are students, Norma. Many are
students.
Yes, to improve their careers and education.
I mean, Alex, it does take skill to be a cheerleader, an NFL cheerleader. They've got dance experience. They've got different types of experience, cheerleading experience. I mean, not everybody can be a professional NFL.
Oh,
you do have to have.
There's no way I would be a professional cheerleader, Norma. Absolutely no way.
I couldn't do it, but
Well, I don't know that, Norma. You could be the coach or something. I don't know. The point, and we'll get into it later, Norma, because I think this requires a whole program. Evaluating sport and the entertainment value and even the traditions. You mentioned traditions, cheerleading. What about the tradition of the national anthem? I don't know why I'm using my thumbs, Norma. But my point is, do we have to reevaluate now all of this? Is all of this fair game, Norma? Are there things that we have traditionally just said, oh, it's acceptable to do, that now we have to reconsider? I think that's what these movements, Black Lives Matter, the Me Too movement, I think the look back at monuments and revision of history, of who men, I'll tell you one thing now, Norma, and this may be a shock to a lot of you, but when I was younger and I would read about presidents, US presidents, or presidents for that matter, leaders worldwide, Norma, the way it was written is that they were great men, that they were altruistic for their people. They led us through bad times. They led us to better times. They helped us become better and more improved and helped us and allowed us to come together as a nation. Norma, I look at our current leadership and the current two choices that we have for president, Norma, and I see them as men that are imperfect, that have faults, and that I question every decision they make because they're really doing it for themselves and for their group, both parties. And that's the priority, not us, not the people.
right.
So my point is, I guess it's taken me 50 some years to figure this out, Norma, but history has been written and romanticized a lot of this. Is it fair game now to go back and say, look, ex-president was a slave owner or was a white supremacist or was a womanizer or did X, Y, and Z? Is that fair game? I honestly think the question is yes. With facts and with information, why can't we go back and revise that? But Norma, I do not look up to our politicians. And polls demonstrate that politicians, in many cases, are lower than dirt. But these are the people that are leading us day in and day out. And Norma, are making decisions about our health, like with COVID. It really is shocking in many ways, Norma, but this is where we are. I don't know how I got from cheerleaders to politicians, Norma, but I think I just did.
I'm just letting you talk. Yeah, you did.
I'm going to take my pill, Norma. Mr. Producer, can you bring me my pill, the big one, the big yellow one? Yes.
Oh,
No, the one that goes in the mouth, please. Thank you, Mr. Producer.
Yeah.
Norma, pick it up anywhere you want, please.
I don't even know where to start. I mean, I thought we were talking about cheerleaders, but
by the way, the ratings just dropped too, Norma. So they said, what is that old man talking about? He went off on a tangent. I have no discipline, Norma, when I'm on the air. That's my problem.
We usually have a rundown, but somehow our rundown it's not even a rundown anymore. It's like a runway, right?
I threw it in the trash can, Norma. It's a runaway. I like that. It's me and my soliloquies. Norma, please, what would you like to talk about? How about we do our top five? You want to go back? How about we go back to the rundown, Norma?
I'm lost now, Alex.
I went off script. No one's watching anymore, Norma.
Okay,
Too much.
I guess we'll go to our